Hello, this is Bill Roney. Welcome again. I have to put a little mud in my eye. Embarrassment. I saw final RDS and then realized there's also a final RDS to share with your classmates. I thought both were the same. Well, I went wrong. But today's lesson is brought to you by fresh cucumbers straight from the garden. This is a Japanese cucumber, and I got a few of them growing. But what's that got to do with technology? Nothing. Just make sure you stay healthy. All right, so I guess one of the first things I want to say is, let's see here. 汪洋lao dao wo di kitang. I'm using Google Translate. I'm not that efficient when it comes to speaking several other languages, but I can understand enough where I could look at the English phonetics of it. For instance, if I were to show you this, you'll be going, what? What does that say? Well, I swipe to the left and it would say, well, it's backwards. Sorry. It's basically it says Huangang, yeah, Dao Wo Di Jiao Xi. A different way of saying welcome to my classroom. It's one of the technologies that I do use besides PowerPoint, Microsoft Office, um, YouTube, some of the generics. Right now, I'm not having to use any of them except for those attached to the university. Uh, Mainly because, well, I'm working a separate job that actually can pay for my schooling and housing at the same time. But I'm hoping to utilize it to go back overseas because I like teaching English as a second language. Now, it's interesting the different technology that different people brought up. Joshua, uh, Hyun, Carla, I believe she's going to be teaching Spanish. They and a few others that I went through and skimmed through. And there's a lot of technology that I quickly went, if they didn't have a link to it, I went and started opening up pages so I would have it and then add it to my library. One thing I highly recommend, one of our assignments is, the technology. The one thing I, like to my sister, I gave her a device. It's a 2 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive. And she was in shock with how much stuff was on there to the point where she goes, I can't add anything on here. It's full. Well, I'll try to explain to her what some of the stuff on there is. Now, some of the schools I've been to, there's no problem using the technology that's readily available. It's not always the case. And there's hackers and viruses. So one of the things I added to my external drive is a virus detector to stop any virus from entering my external drive. The second thing I added to it was a player that played pretty much anything. So what we call a universal player. So I downloaded one of those programs onto it. That way, I go to the classroom and I want to show a video, and the classroom computer has been corrupted. I can plug in my external drive, open up that program, and play the video. Because I do have in certain classes use a lot of YouTube videos. Because when teaching the English as a second language, you want to make sure kids can understand you, but also can understand people from other parts of the country, other parts of the city, twangs and accents. Um, it was one of the issues I saw while I was in Korea and in China and Japan, as well as dealing with foreigners here, because in the early days I worked in a grocery store and fast food restaurant. They they can understand me, but they couldn't understand this person, or the other way around. Well, I come to find out, as I was doing my studies, that they don't always understand the accent. Now, as I showed you, took care of my cell phone, the translation, the Google Translator had a different term for it. The classroom was different. One said Kai Tang, one said um, Sorry, let me reopen that back up. Yeah, sure. Well, what's the difference? That one would be a dialect difference in Mandarin. But think about the languages here. A lot of us are Americans or from Central South America. Think of other the Spanish speakers. Think about other cultures, Puerto Rican versus Cuban Spanish, Guatemalan versus Colombian. There are certain things that, like, you would say that they don't say. Here in the United States, you go to order a Coke. If you go to order a Coke in certain states, they're going to bring you a Pepsi. Um, or they'll ask you what flavor, which means Coke isn't just Coke or soda or pop. There's colloquial differences. So the translators are great to use, but you have to be careful because they can cause issues. So, and not everybody can read the translation. I mean, I've come across people who are trying to speak Spanish with some of my neighbors, and I couldn't say the word properly, weren't communicating properly. So I showed them, and then realized, oh wait, they don't know how to read, but their friend or their kid did, and I showed the kid, and they and said read it in Spanish, and dad, uncle answered, and the kid translated. So that made it really interesting when you're using that type of technology. All right. Now, while I'm off one tangent, let's go back to the tangent where I talk about stuff on the drive. Well, those are the big things I have on my external drive, as well as some of the stuff that you guys shared. Like I said, Joshua and Hina and Carla had shared, and a couple other people shared. And I've added those to the additional external drive. But I also downloaded flashcards, textbooks, videos, um, pretty much a wide variety. And some of the videos I have, because of my students, will have English subtitles, Chinese subtitles, Korean subtitles. No, so I would show them with the subtitles and without the subtitles. So you need to have multiple choices. Now there are some players where you can click on it and say, "Oh, I need this subtitles added," and it's like closed caption. And closed caption, I find, is usually never accurate, or almost never accurate. Some of the translations are there's websites on Facebook and other sites that here's what the line is, and this is what they said in the other language when it happened. They're comical. Now, other things I added to my thing is Microsoft Office, so I could use the PowerPoints and other things there on the Microsoft PowerPoint. I mean, Microsoft Office, as well as Microsoft Educator, YouTube videos. Those are the things I recommend on your external drive. And there's no such thing as having too much. There's no such thing as not having enough. So one of the things I'm hoping at the end of this, even though I have been trying to copy whenever somebody shared a link, an app, a program, I try to add it to my personal library as quickly as I could. I know I probably missed several. I hope our professor lets, or her assistant goes through and pulls all our programs that we utilize. But I'm on, like, say, Microsoft Word document or a PowerPoint document. These are what your classmates have used, and give it to us so we can stash into our library of stuff that we may need now or we may need in the future. And I mean, we already know about Minecraft, but like I said, there are sites and that other people shared. Uh, our teachers shared Duolingo, right? But there's other ones that when you type in Duolingo and look for sister sites, they're really good. I have used because STEM was so pushed and Minecraft was. I pulled up a variety of websites about STEM, and I put them in my written documents including the one of the last assignments where we had to read several articles, and that was almost all STEM related, which includes sites that tell you the top best toys, the top best apps, the top best programs. Um, I do recommend looking those up and looking what they're offering, free or the ones you have to pay money. If you have to pay money, I'll put them off to the side until you know for a fact you need it and you have the finances. Download the free stuff. Never hurts to have it in your library for future use. Uh, as for well, like I said at the beginning, I thought this video was supposed to be our final video. I didn't realize it was two final videos. I was talking about the textbook in the other video. I might post that video as well as this video. I always said to myself, I do not like express courses. It's too rushed. I'm not as fast as most people when it comes to reading and comprehending. So I've already pigeoned several sections like chapter 13 in our textbook, where it has talks about the different virtual world programs, and it says, are they a good was it a good learning tool or a bad learning tool? Like for instance, Wobbly, which I wrote and said that I want to use. Let's see if we can get closer. And it talks about how good of academic it is. Well, I want to do further research on that. But one of the things I do like to do is further research. That's why I like the longer classes because you can then do additional research on your own and expand your research. Otherwise, we'll come bring this to a close. I thank you very much. Hope you had as much fun as I did and learned as much as I did, or even more. It never hurts to learn more than me. I'll be jealous, but hey, if you learn more than me, good for you. That's why I'm going to reread the textbook. Maybe catch up on some of the stuff I did miss, and try to recheck some of the videos out while it's still possible. Thank you very much. Peace, love, and happiness, and enjoy your cucumbers. Mine went to a salad, and this one's going with peanut butter.